is good, everybody? It's your boy Fiku, or in my YouTube it's still Vilko the Gamer for some reason. Anyway, I have too many aliases, but I wanted to record a video about MYST's album called Trinity. I really enjoy his work. It's like a hardstyle, hard dance music creator, and I was listening to his music for quite a bit, and then I decided like I wanted to actually take my thoughts and extrapolate them slightly further, and so here we are recording a album review of his probably his final last album before he like retires. And I don't know, he said something that he was going to pursue DJing a bit further, but I hope he doesn't stop making music, because he's at the very top. He's at like at the peak of his production. He's like extremely talented, and I hope he wouldn't stop. But I kind of need to let it go. Like, obviously, it's best that he does what he wants to do. Like, why would you force somebody like to keep pumping music if they don't want to and they don't have the drive for it? But yeah. Okay, so the first track called Bird. It's like this very introductory opener to his album called Trinity. It gives some like taste for the first third of the album, because the album is like sectioned in thirds, and it's like very simplistic, fairly harmonious opener to like prime the listeners, to give them some kind of taste of what's to come. It's not really hardstyle, it's just like a interlude type of thing, but I still appreciate what it is, and I kind of do enjoy the aspect that it doesn't directly jump in. It gives some more room and significance for the other songs to come. So the first real song called Life Eternal is it's a really amazing song. Like it has some beautiful female vocals to like really introduce this wonderful aspect of euphoric like feel towards hardstyle, which I truly like. So these female vocals kind of necessitate like a good opener for the song, and it's really easy to build the beat with the vocals themselves, because it's really hard to keep it as afterthought, because it doesn't feel natural otherwise. The kick that this song uses is very much like the kick MYST ended up using in the song is very much alike to what he usually does. It's a modern hardstyle kick with like fairly resonant rumbling tails to give some extra character and oomph for them, but it comes off in a really nice way of somehow being harmonious and not like occupying the whole soundstage. Kick itself is kind of beautiful, but it is not the only thing about the song that makes it pretty good with the vocals. It's also like the chords and synthesizer progressions that make the song kind of feel like naturally flowing, that is pretty apparent on the song. The song also makes use of some very notable bridges between the verses and choruses. For example, a few bridges that he uses to reintroduce some of the elements, like for example a certain chord patterns, or like how the kick is varied. But I think the vocals are one of the main drivers. It's a very tasteful aspect of hardstyle, especially like euphoric hardstyle, to have like some sort of like deep lyrical meaning of like pondering life's purpose, or what life would be. It's a really common theme among euphoric hardstyle. The song has almost everything that you would have hoped for a like hardstyle song, because the way like it arrives to its climax is like incredibly naturally progressing that I like. The song itself is really well mastered with like nothing poking out. It's like a solid smooth mix that obviously it's not very apparent on like first time listens, but you just gotta love the sound staging, how well the sound staging works together with the other aspects of the songs. Like, the song is really well flowing, as I've previously described, with well progressing structures and like micro bridges that are occasionally kind of unnoticeable because they're so brilliant that they don't come to your mind when you listen to them. But a way like certain chords can be elevated by like pitching their frequency or how they're tuned to be. It's like it's not very audible at times. The song has a extremely beautiful section, kind of like a orgasm-inducing moment, at like 3 minutes and 4 seconds in. Like he drops everything and just like elevates the notes to like one higher, and just like exposes the nature and the rawness of the kick. It's like it's very pure when it's like all alone by like just a few bass chords to come by. Like it's a very tasteful it's a very tasteful expression of what a spice up could be within a song. The quality of an alteration like that doesn't come by very often. It's not easy to like think about, oh yeah, I'm gonna execute something like this in here. But it's a very tasteful thing that truly like spices the whole song up towards the end climax or the final climax before the coda. I just truly like the way the kicks were highlighted in during that 3/4 sort of alteration for the kicks. Like just how bassy and resonant the kicks can be at times, while like retaining that high pitch simultaneously. Like how is that even possible sonically? Like it's pretty astonishing. On the contrary, it's very odd to have like kick with those type of characteristics but retain the kick's fullness. Somehow the kick doesn't feel hollow, even though it has all of these things I just mentioned. Like it's very full and like true to its core of being a punchy kick. And they still also have those tails that are actual porn. Okay. Trinity's second song called Bliss. It has to be one of my favorite songs on this record. Just because the song name comes so close to what it's supposed to represent. Like it has the most heaven-like angelical kicks. That's it. I have a very hard time depicting apart these kicks of how much of a masterclass they are. Like it makes me speechless by that. But Bliss's beauty in many places is the beginning opener with the violins. Like how harmoniously the violin just comes in, and then when the female vocals of like really high pitched like gorgeousness comes into play together, it's like something so simple yet extremely pleasing to hear. There's something so class about violin and like really elevated high pitched female vocals that are not tuned by much. It's so classy and like classical almost. The song implements these underlying beats, and the melody itself comes together by leading the female vocals throughout the song. For example, the chords and the synthesizers come into play together with the female vocals, like very harmoniously. It's like it feels right, which means it like kind of flows well. Especially with the beat and the melody itself, it's like a very slow introduction that like creeps on the background while like rising its fullness and volume very unnoticeably, but it feels so good when the beat finally catches up and it's like the pre-chorus. So when the pre-chorus has like finally completed, it feels really like euphoric-esque. I think the drop sequencing is pretty rapid, like how fast it comes. It's like, I wouldn't say it's out of the blue, like unexpected, but it's like a very short, like less than 10 seconds of like just very rapid race right before the drop. But the kick is so fucking good. It's like unimaginably raw. The kick itself on the song Bliss has almost everything you would have wanted for. It has that really thick EQ'd out of. The kick itself is EQ'd out with Reese plugs or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. Kick also has a good amount of reverse bass. Of like that's a pretty common method in hardstyle to introduce more higher volumes on the kicks, and it also hits harder when you start from the higher frequency going downwards. The kick is so highly elevated to have this ultra bounciness to it, to be like laser like punchiness of like this kick shows true excellent. This kick shows true excellence of like how well crafted this is. Like this takes months and months of craft to come up with something so whole. From the made up from the ground is extremely artificial, with everything being selected and tuned for. But the way it comes together sounds like a fucking awesome kick. It's still the song named Bliss. It's not a coincidence. It's like a very soul-touching, emotional wholesomeness packaged together, led by these female vocals that I just talked about. I think the chopped chords in this song are pretty good. Like, I think the notes and harmonies that these chords and synthesizers create on the song are fairly simplistic, but they really help to space out the kicks, to give them some breathing room to like gather their full attention and the space that they require to work well within the song. Once again, comes back to that mastering that he does really well. But the notes still feel very vibrant and lifelike. The notes are not hollowed out or EQ'd to the max. They're like very light touch that helps to emphasize this song's theme. It's a really well crafted sort of melody that is carried out just fine. The melody is probably not this song's strongest suit, but it doesn't need to be. Because the kick, the violin, the female vocals, like it has almost everything. The song would be too crazy if it would have some extreme melody. Like that wouldn't probably work even. So the song is probably one of the best songs in this album. Damn, the dogs really do be barking though. Oh well. Well, anyway, another thing on this song is that the lingering voices during the breaks are really like carrying home this theme of angelical, heaven-like sort of blissfulness, and they carry out towards even the pre-chorus of the last drop. But then, when you combine the first sort of chorus together with the last chorus, damn, what a like great combo to drive home together with the vocals and like the extremely classic kicks that I have depicted apart already. To like this song is like some of MYST's best work, and it truly represents like one of the greatest hardstyle songs that I've probably, I don't know, I cannot say ever yet, because I know I'm just in the beginning phase of my like musical sort of experience, especially with hardstyle. But this is one of the best hardstyle songs that are more oriented towards rawness, dare I say. Life eternal. Alright boys, we're back. Just as the sun is setting to like record the rest of this album review, hopefully. I had to think about that Monster song for a while, because yeah, I didn't have too much to say about it. I think the Monster song is like so much about like raw resonance. It's like that first kick, it like comes out of nowhere just to introduce you towards the song's theme. It has slightly darker atmosphere, which is pretty pleasant. It's a nice surprise. It's like something different. I think the first chorus gives like a really nice taste of what's to come during the rest of the song. The second chorus has like incredible punchiness in its kicks, and it's really potent, and yeah, I like that a lot. It's way more like raw energy. I think the third chorus is probably the best, where it like comes to the full climax, where you get to experience this another masterfully crafted kick that is slightly different. The song keeps itself really fresh, and it's really nice to like know that he can just pull off these amazing progressions in the song. I like the selection of synthesizers used. It's like dark like Halloween type of thing, and the elements create a unique undertone for the song. Bye bye son. The path we take. The song is a bit more like reflective of emotion conveying from the vocals. Like it progresses really smoothly to this faster paced build up. And also uses a lot of female vocals that are really present. The song also has a good amount of like reverse bass. Kick is very bouncy, but not the same extent as something like Bliss. It's nowhere close. They're still pretty good. The song actually uses slightly more bizarre examples of female vocals. They're really like chopped up, and they're really EQ'd out. They don't sound like too real. They're like higher pitch, which I do kind of like though. The Path We Take had a very rich and deep bass line that's like undertone going throughout the whole song, which is really nice. The mix didn't feel too dense, just because it was really well like pieced together. Still, the main kick doesn't sound too repetitive, just because it's like kept varying throughout the whole song. Like the song used very cool iterations of the kick tails to keep it fresh and going. It was pretty great. And overall, this song is really well harmonized. To have like an uplifting theme for it. Alright, that's the first third of the album. Really good hits there. Then the song in chapter 2 called Creator. I think Creator is like a interlude type of intermission song. It kind of shifts the tone for the second third of the album with some unique, intriguing effects panning throughout the whole sound stage. It sounds really nice. The whole interlude structure and song kind of like felt like it could be a full track, but not quite. It was missing the kick, obviously, but I don't think it was meant to be a full track, but it has a lot of elements that it has potential to be like a full release MYST song. Maybe the track could have been dropped or repurposed to be this interlude here, but still, sounds really good. The song's aura gives off the feeling of like non-drug, hallucinatory experience somehow. Then Arms of Sorrow. What a good song. It really starts off the second half with a bang. It's like incredibly fast paced right after the chapter 2 creator gives so much emphasis to this empty space of like isolate, desolate space. The song kind of uses like gorgeous female vocals to like lead it towards the first drop that I really like. It's like a very easy natural progression towards something. The build-up is slightly more drawn out to give more room and anticipation towards the drop. The verse has some clear cuts, very distinguishable carrying kicks with plenty of Reese plucks and reverse bass, as in almost all the kicks in this album. The song kicks are kind of like a midpoint between something like Bliss. Bliss is like the very bouncy ones, and Monster's really harsh, raw ones. It's like strikes a good midpoint between that. First chorus kicks felt slightly lackluster because they lacked like that crispness, that MYST trademark sound of being really crisp and punchy kicks. The song has a very beautiful structure, especially from the second chorus towards the last master chorus. That's where like everything was laid out and displayed to like reach the full climax. It was like really amped up by reintroducing all the elements back for the main last drop. The song has even faster pace, elevating the kicks to a more potent level, which is obviously a good thing, but that's to be expected. But the kicks have to be some kind of way altered for the last part. Right, I can see now. The song has like this really grandiose, grand opening with like really passionate scream at like 30 seconds in. It's sort of like it's a really overused term, but like it gives me like shivers when I hear that. It really has a large impact on the song personally. Also, the scream works sort of like as a transitional period towards the pre-chorus where it starts rebuilding itself again. The beat itself is solid, with a lot of harmonized synthesizers. Personally, it doesn't click me in the same way because it lacks that like emotional connection with the song. Even though there's like nothing realistically is missing from it, like it's really hard to think about something to add. Do not become overboard. The second chorus doesn't have crazy alterations from the first one. The vocals on the song are probably one of its main drivers why it's so good and like really enjoyable to listen to. And they like truly carry out the song throughout to like keep it really fresh and kind of clean in some sense. The song called The End. The song has slightly different approach for the intro section. The song drives home some darker aspects of this record, kind of like Monster also did. It felt like really cohesive piece of male vocals for once, like slightly different this time. In the first choruses, kicks are not as present until the switch up that like really elevates them to truly to the next level. The song uses different kinds of chords, kind of like that Halloween type of theme or church theme. The song uses different kinds of kicks that go really ham and still somehow sound really pure simultaneously. In the break, the song keeps using the small subsets of various screeches. It's like this really scary, dark aesthetic. Grand chorus felt really nice, altering kicktails combined within the melody of the song. It's like obviously, as I previously talked about, the kicktails are the key to truly make the song varying throughout the chorus itself. I really love the song for the well executed theme to keep it within its boundaries and to set like some sort of goal to aim at within the song. It was still very like aggressive with the kicks, which I loved. Doing some changes in the pre-chorus pattern to keep it still a variety throughout the song. Still somehow coming across as well mastered piece. It's just not like randomly experimented this song. Like it doesn't come about like that. Right then, song Goodbye. Goodbye starts off with a beautiful background ambience together with really simple synths. These synths or pads are really easily guided by these like divine female vocals. The panning ambience sound continues towards the pre-chorus. It gives us this really easy transfer for the song to take over. The ramp up makes use of fully pleasant chords. It's a really positive atmospheric vibe. The song makes clever use of a strategy called game staging, where you like give off a lot of room for the drop. It gives off clever space for the marvelous kicks to come that are made round to fit this more dreaminess side for this record. Like it really drives that home. What I mean by that is the kicks are like slightly more elevated, high, but they're like the low end EQ is like cut out, so it sounds like it goes really, really like positive, and it's not the full kick, but it's like cut out somewhere. It's like determined of what can be audible, or it just gets drawn out otherwise. It's a very graceful feel, and this song's weird, unorthodox kick has that another bounciness to it, but not like Bliss. It's like a different way. I like to describe it as like a lightsaber plasma swinging. It's like it really has like that true character to it, but it's not like fullness. It's not like Kick's fullness, but it's really positive. Chorus is a well mastered balance. It really strikes that well, and also like the breaks are very drastically different from the choruses to like give a lot of like dynamic feel for the song. Somehow after the break, the song made even more ambiguous move to like top itself off. For the final chorus with higher pitch synthesizers, the leads are really harmonious and vibrant, just like the kicks. Like they're like on the same energy level. The song comes to a coda really nicely to leave some after lingering throughout. I don't know what it is. It might be like some sort of EQ synthesizers or something, or just like some very weird pads maybe. This song is really well put together to build some of the smoothest transfers in modern hardstyle. Like it's really easy going. You cannot notice most of the micro pitches. So that's like smooth transfers, very representative of modern hardstyle. This is probably like this record's most harmonious piece of work. Chapter 3. I interpret this chapter song name called Chapter 3, but not having the second sort of like title to it, the like open-endedness. Honestly, it's pretty thought-provoking song. It's so much about like the ambience to give a break for the listeners, as well as to serve like a stopping point for the last third of this record. It's pretty clever to drop this subtle sort of interlude type of things between the chapters to like space it out and give a break to listeners, because hardstyle is really taxing. It's like you cannot do a lot of hardstyle in one book. You need to take breaks in the between to like truly appreciate the loud gorgeousness, because otherwise it'll all just become a fucking mess. Like the song Myth for the last third is how do I say this? I have depicted this song apart so much that I might as well just read off the script, just as I have kind of tried to plan to. This song has extremely pleasant use of MYST's classic Reese bass in the kicks, bassline combined with Saturn plucks in order to create a masterclass surrounding atmosphere, ambient sound. It's like surrounding like the whole time, just panning around in your head. Still, somehow in the same song, MYST has crafted complex harmonies in the choruses while multi-layer sampling of vastly different FX chords were used to create this truly angelical holy setting to make a really memorable piece of progressive, truly gorgeous hardstyle. The selections of instruments was very harmonized, combining numerous small subsets of screeches and samples that are hard to notice at first when you listen to it. Pleasing at surface level glance, but simple chords, synthesizers, pads, distorted vocals are actually very intricate and advanced, even by MYST production style. MYST has made numerous masterfully created and crafted kicks on this record, but this is probably one of the best ones. The ones being used in the song are up there. This pleasant harshness together with well-known boominess of the kicks simultaneously retains that full real kick vibe aesthetic to it. It doesn't occupy too much sound space. The synthesizers have just enough room to breathe, to be well mastered and well balanced throughout the song, creating a vibrant, ritual euphoria like hardstyle song. This song is insanely naturally transitioning bridges on song structures. For example, in the pre-chorus panning of the Reese bass, or some kind of bass line, and the clever use of gain staging throughout the both choruses, or just before the both choruses start. The song's structural progression is so noticeable that it makes it super seamless. Like, MYST is extremely talented to create something like this. What I assume are like really heavily FX'd, distorted female vocals also drive home this point of angelical heaven-like feel. Those vocals were used throughout both verses in their own ways, that the both drops or both choruses are very, very unique in their own way. The song Fight the Hardest. It's a really cool song that I truly liked. The introduction reveals from the get-go a really raw, really punchy kicks. Probably this album's rawest piece of work. They're like truly up there. I don't know, this song has sampled a piece or a bit from Jonko Willing, some kind of motivational speech. The break is slightly too extenuated in my opinion, but the pre-chorus sounds very light in comparison, but carries over some melodical aspects to the chorus. The first chorus introduces new chords that are drastically different from the ones used in the sort of intersection introduction. The melody with the synthesizers was a bit more rough and resonant, which I liked, and it also has that vibrant feel for it. The kicks used in all choruses have a bit more extended tails to include more resonative lower frequencies, and also the kick variations in the tails. The song is not itself really fancy, but it's not aiming to be either. Like, structurally, it's not probably his best work. The very last 10 seconds pre-chorus bridge almost act as a fake drop towards the song's really satisfying setup for the last full climax, like the true climax of the song. It feels like heaven with those slightly more elevated notes on the chords to make the final last climax happen. Alright, Driven by Pain. This song was initially one of my least favorite songs for some reason throughout the album, but throughout my 50 or so listens, the song really grew on me, then I started liking it. The first choruses, kicks and melody are not that interesting, but the songs had a really technical, powerful volume drought in the first break to give it more energy, more impact for the second pre-chorus. Then the second chorus felt absolutely amazing. Truly naturally progressive in the chorus, and somehow non-verbally tying to the theme of the song of being driven by pain. Like this song has incredibly punchy kicks combined with this really raw aesthetic also. These really loud yet simple synthesizers cohesively blended with a great hybrid kick. What I mean by hybrid kick is that it has really good volume, as well as character. Like it's not full kick, but it's not incredibly like punchy, tail heavy, or really like elevated, high pitched total. I don't know. It's like it strikes a balance between those two. They felt really loud, yet simple. They don't have their like full frequency range, which is fine. Uh, in the song, they work really well as like more fast-paced bouncing kick. Really harmonious closer with few string-like synthesizers and piano notes. It's like really emotionally touching to have like more piano throughout this album. Like piano, violin, all those harmonious classical elements are like really sort of cool to have here. I like the ending of it because it's like comes to coda really slowly and leaves you with this like afterthought. It's really nice. Like if you have incredibly high highs of being the full final climax, and then the coda is really soft and mellow. The song "Life Eternal." It's a cover by Hardkeyz, like a cover art. The song is great. Break between like the other songs on this record. It gives a break for the ears again, and bring the album more towards closer. But it's also like because "Life Eternal" was the second song of the record, and yeah, it's like very interesting the dynamic between this being towards the very end of this album. It's like a reversal opposites from the opening, so this is like a closure tease. The piano is pretty rarely utilized instrument in hardstyle, so it's really refreshing to hear this. Like just only be instrumental. The track placement helps to emphasize the significance of following song by bringing it more space and room. There's something to be said about the use of piano being like really sentimental feelings, especially like obviously this piano has like tonics and dominants and shit like that. I don't understand piano theory. Don't get mad at me at the comments, but like to me, like certain I don't know what it's called. When it's like sad tone piano, but like I don't know, this very sentimental feel that I get from that, and it's like entailing the closer for the foreseeable end for the listener. It's pretty cool. The song "Find You," I consider this the proper end of this album. Even though Fire and Ice edit is still to come after this, I think this is the true ending of the song, how MYST intended this to be. I consider it like an extra slap on this record to like buff it out or make it like more interesting. It's not like very thoughtfully selected to be here on the original creation or the crafting of this album. This album goes out with a bang by the song "Find You," with some of the finest female vocals on this album. The song stepped up to another level in the amount of flow patterns and like this really small tricklet flows that like alter throughout the song, especially apparent in synthesizers. Obviously, it's less has to do with kicks. The amount of switch up is fucking crazy. I really love the first George's kick with extremely resonating tails to like give it off that bounciness. I don't know whether that's some kind of bass line or something, but it has really nice tails. It gives off a lot of character and depth. The second pre-chorus has some of the most unnoticeable, unexpected micro bridges to help it progress towards the main chorus. Unfortunately, the second chorus didn't quite live up to the par. The full climax kind of some way flops by the way it was partially set up to fail, because the pre-chorus was better than the actual main chorus, which is odd. But it was kind of like it tipped before it like made the main chorus. At times, George's melody feels kind of bland. Like I would wish there to be like something more cohesive rather than din 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 din. Like I don't know, might be just me though. Like that's cool kick variations, and like it's very playful with stepping up and varying every 5 seconds. but I'm more fan of like more gradual curves of like song structure. Like you can have like small micro strips for like this, but I don't like it when it's like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Like it's very, very choppy. It's like it feels bland because it's like stripped of the surrounding and complementary elements of the song to feel more like full mix like throughout. Even though it has a lot of pattern alternations, it's generic changes at notes sometimes. Trinity and Ice Edit. Trinity and Ice Edit. Man, what do I say about this one? Hey boys, I might dislike old hardstyle kicks. The tails are too fucking big, all I need to say. Kick tails are like why? Why does it have to sound like that? Kick and Fire and Ice is like phenomenal previous song crafted by MYST. For my ears, I don't particularly like the old school kick. It's like overbearing at times, I feel like. They're not very clean and at times feel kind of irritable. Probably the weakest link in the whole album, but I don't know if this was a slap-on auditionary type of thing or meant to be here to review. Would have loved to see a faster BPM edit of this song maybe, with the original kick, not this like old school. Like why mess up this album's theme with like introducing too many random aspects to it? Like it was already pretty revolutionary with the way there was like, I mean not revolutionary but like odd to have so many interlude songs and then a piano instrumental of another song, but then to have like a re-edit of your old song with the old kick. Like obviously I'm fine kind of with remixes. Obviously they're a great way to like display some of your hybrid stuff or like combine new with old, but these old kicks ain't it, chief. Alright, that's it. Thank you for watching, boys. It was a really good fucking fun time talking here in the cold, freezing my ass off. To wrap up this album review, I'd say probably that this album is really meticulously well crafted piece of sonical art. One of the best hardstyle albums I have ever heard within like the 3 years that I've been listening to music for. I have actually cycled through thousands of songs and upwards of 100 different artists, and this MYST is fucking legendary. Like, he does it all, pretty much. This album has almost everything covered, from the very high highs and the lows of instrumentals and stuff like that. This album is like a very euphoria-like, euphoric hardstyle by the name. It's a very strong sensation of feelings, like positive feelings you get from it. It's very like incredible depths of like soul, very ultra modern hardstyle album leaning towards like rawness and raw energy. If I need to give it a rating, yeah, I'd probably say like a 9.5. That's pretty good, right?